What's going on, guys? Duelim here, backing up with another video, and today we've got Cosmic Crucible Season 8 room rules revealed, and these will be showcased 1 hour after this video goes live on my Twitch and other people's Twitch in an Envoy tournament where we are going to go against each other in 3 rounds of Cosmic Crucible that will last 1 hour each to showcase the new rules. So if you're ready to figure out what all these rooms do and who I think is going to be best and the defense I'll be running for the tournament, let's get into it. Coming into room number 1, we've got Field Medic, and the room rules for this are going to be on defense and offense. All characters on turn clear vulnerable from self and heal 20% of max health for each vulnerable effect removed this way. Characters with vulnerable gain negative 25% resistance. And then the global rule as well is the Cabal of Evil. So on defense and offense, Cabal characters count as Masters of Evil. So it's all Masters of Evil. And then the normal 20% max health, 10% damage, and exhausted feature. So for room number 1, I am going to be running Mercs for Money with Noir in here. This is going to be my setup, and the reason why is because Noir is going to get pretty early bleeds out there, and it's going to do great things for the turn meter for Mercs for Money, because Old Man Logan's passive gives 30% speed bar if anybody on the enemy side gains bleed. Noir infamously goes extremely quickly, and he will ult turn 1 and put out a lot of damage, also put out some bleeds, give this team a bunch of speed meter, and then they start going. Obviously, we're not going to have Mercs for Money on release of the new season. Actually, we will, but we may not have the biggest Mercs for Money. We will have the whole team, though, if you are a spender, because by the time this season starts, you should have the whole team. I do feel like this is one of the best teams to put in here, but because of the vulnerables being cleared, another option here is stuff that Cabal usually counters, because obviously if you're clearing the vulnerables, you're kind of neutering what Cabal does. So maybe putting a Super Scroll in here might be a pretty good thing. Super Scroll with some turn meter. Characters such as like an Emma, maybe like a Hela for rewinds from Greg and stuff like that. So they can't get in front of Super Scroll taking his first turn. Because then when Super Scroll goes, he's going to take off those vulnerables, and then he will be able to get his passive from all the positive effects being gained, and Super Scroll will continue being a nuisance. So that's another option for you guys in here, but I feel like this is going to be one of your best options, and what I'm going to be running in room number 1. Room number 2 is called Blood Transfusion. On defense and offense, all characters on turn gain bleed. With bleed, gain 5% damage per bleed, and then when applying bleed, gain defense up. Same global rules as usual. I'm throwing in an Infinity Watch in here because Infinity Watches are the cockroaches of MSF, and they have immunity a lot of the times. They're going to have Safeguard, all this stuff, and they're just a tanky team. Once again, it's just crazy how long they are staying in the meta. I do think they're a great option here. Another good option could be like a Secret Defenders in here because of all the bleeds and stuff like that. You could also put Mercs for Money in here as well, because if you got Mercs for Money in here, when an enemy takes a turn, if they're going before Mercs for Money, they're going to gain bleed, and then Mercs for Money is going to get the speed bar. So Mercs for Money is another great choice in room number 2. Honestly, it's a toss-up between the two. You could throw Infinity Watch in room number 1, and they could be a lot tankier because they're clearing a bunch of those vulnerables. Or you could throw them in here, and they kind of don't deal with the bleed damage very much. Another bleed character that could work here is maybe Zim, but unfortunately Zim on defense and Undying on defense usually isn't the best to put in here unless you're putting some big characters with it. But Mercs for Monies is another great choice here if you're not going to want to use Infinity Watch. Coming into room number 3, we've got Double Tap. On successful hit, if target has exposed, perform a basic attack against that target. Characters with exposed have negative 20% resistance. This room I feel like is an absolute non-event, but Extreme is a good team, and Extreme does also have an exposed mechanic in Nightcrawler, so I think it's worth putting an Extreme Rogue in here. Pretty boring though, unfortunately. I feel like this room is not really that crazy. Just because the only other characters that have exposed are going to be Super Scroll, and Super Scroll is much better used elsewhere. Honestly, in 2 other places you could use him. And then Vol, unfortunately, just is not that great of a character to have. on defense, because once Vol ults, then it's a long time, or specials, it's a long time to get back to the ult, and then having AI control who they hit, possibly not hitting the exposed, honestly, I don't think is worth it. So this room's kind of a non-event, but I'm going to do Extreme Rogue in here because it's still a really great team. Everybody's building Extreme. They're a super sturdy team, and you're not going to have any issues bringing this team for Cosmic Crucible. Let's get in the next room. Coming in to room number 4, we have Under the Weather, and on offense and defense, all characters on turn clear all negative effects from characters. So that's right, when they take their turn, they will clear all negative effects. And then on turn end, gain defense down, offense down, slow, and disrupted. So essentially, once they take their first turn, they're almost neutered because they have slow, disrupt, can't gain positive effect, like a lot of bad stuff on them. And then obviously, same global rules. So I'm going to run Spider Society with Cap America Sam. And the reason why you have the Cap America Sam is because he gives turn meter on his ultimate, and he gives extra turn meter to skill characters. Guess what all the Spider Society members are? Skill characters. That's right. So if Captain America Sam gets to ult, he's going to give a bunch of turn meter to them, and they're going to take a bunch of turns and kind of counteract the amount of slows that they have on them. Now, you also have to remember they're going to have a bunch of speed ups on them. So having slow kind of gives them a net 0 because it cancels each other out. So they're still going to be faster than a lot of teams because all of them will have speed up and slow. So it just goes back to their base speed. And if enemies are dealing with that as well and they don't have speed up to counteract the slow, this team's going to get still be pretty quick and still cause a lot of problems. There's another option that I was thinking that you could run this room in room 6, but we will talk about that when we get there. But for right now, room 4 is going to be Spider Society with Cap America Sam, and then also put him as Raider to get more vulnerables out there, because obviously we only have one other person putting vulnerables out there. In goes Spider. Coming into room number 5, we've got on offense and defense, villain characters, only villain characters. On spawn, gain revive once at 50% max health. So this is going to be very, very interesting for a lot of villain characters, especially Superior 6, because they're such a great team. And then having Superior 6 with a revive just makes them that much harder. This takes out the need for bringing a Dormammu in here, because a lot of people were putting Superior 6 with Dorm in here. So that was a pretty great idea, but now you don't even need to. So this is going to be the team I'm running for at least round 1. I'm going to tweak it as I go. I'm honestly thinking about putting Super Scroll in here and just being a really bad person and just making them suffer. But I haven't decided that yet. But the revives are going to be super great because you know we're going to get a bunch of revives in here. Also, Slayer does have a permanent kill, so he can kind of neuter the revive once on somebody on their side if he gets to his ultimate. Craven ult also has a permanent kill as well. So some good characters having permanent kills can neuter them, your enemy, using the revive once to their benefit. And also, I really think Superior 6 is such a strong defense, and I haven't felt crippled not having them for offense, so that's why I'm going to recommend putting them in room number 5. Other ideas you can put here, Super Scroll's a great choice, obviously, because you're going to have a free revive once on him. Unfortunately, a lot of people are having Black Cat on offense now, so that's going to take that revive once away. But if you're using something like Superior 6 and Super Scroll, you're really putting your opponent in a bind, because that's going to make it way harder to clear, because then Black Cat doesn't have can't clear the revives as well because it can get blocked as well from a Doc Ock. So you have a lot more issues that can arise from that. And then also, obviously, Super Scroll being Super Scroll is really great, but I like him somewhere else. So let's get into the next room. Room number 6, Supercharged. On defense and offense, all characters, after using an ultimate ability, spread all positive effects to adjacent allies. Ultimate abilities cost 2 less ability energy. This team here is just a swift kick between the uprights, because Black Knight's going to get to ult turn 1, and we all know how much damage his ult does turn 1. Cap is going to ult turn 1, spread his positive effects. Dorm's going to ult turn 1. Super Scroll's going to ult turn 1. And then I needed another villain, and I thought, hey, you know what's better than ulting turn 1? Getting energy off of kills if you ult turn 1 with Super Scroll. So that's why I'm going to run Thanos in here, because Thanos will give energy to adjacent cosmic allies if enemies are killed. So this can really snowball out of control and mess up anybody if they're trying to do a sacrifice attack in here. I think this defense is going to be super nuts. Also, Super Skrull meets the requirements for 2 villains, 2 heroes as well, which is going to make him that much better. Dorm, once again, ulting turn 1. Super Skrull ulting turn 1. Thanos there to give energy. So, you know, Super Skrull only has a 4-turn cooldown on his ultimate at that point. So he is going to be ulting pretty often, especially if he's getting kills. Black Knight, percent damage, permakill on his ultimate is pretty nuts. And then Cap, another just absolute bullet sponge, just going to be taking so much damage from everybody. I do have Fortifier on the 3 who are just there to stand there and enable Sus and Dormammu to go. Fortifier on Thanos just so he doesn't die because his stats are a little bit lower. But that's going to be my defense for room number 6. So looking at this as a whole, I really do like my defense, honestly. I feel like room 5 is going to cause people problems with the revive. Unless they sack it, then the revives are gone, which is a great choice. I feel like room 4 has the most room for improvement, because just seeing what other people try to use and see what works well in here. I feel like room 1 is really awesome. I feel like they will be great in room 2 though as well. So they could absolutely be an option in room 2, because if anybody goes before the Mercs for Money, they're going to get they're going to gain bleed, and then that's going to give the turn meter to the whole Mercs for Money team, and that's going to cause a lot of issues. But I'm going to keep them in room 1 for this time, just because I want to see what's going to happen with the vulnerables, because I feel like a really good team is going to have to take this out. But it all depends. It's going to be a lot of guessing and a lot of seeing what's going to work and what's not going to work. But I'm super excited for this one. This video is live at 2 p.m. Eastern on May 22nd. So if you guys are watching this first, you guys can head over to my Twitch, which will be down in the description below, to watch me test out these rooms live against 7 other content creators who are also envoys. We will be doing it live on Twitch against each other. So please come and check that one out. But until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, y'all.